Okay, so the video said I take the acetate cover,
USA, West Coast Dave exclusive Spidey rules.
I take my second appearance of Miles Morales, I slide it in there, and then just carefully place it in the stapler where the staple holes are.
West Coast Avengers! West Coast Avengers!
Oh, hello! Oh, sorry. Was just checking the oil on my desk. Giving it a little change. Someday. West Coast Avenger. Just got back from the San Francisco Bay Area. I got a huge store haul. But first, don't forget, subscribe to my YouTube show if you're just watching this for the first time. Smash the like button. Throw a comment down below. And all my links are down below, so you can find a link to Instagram, whatnot, eBay, Dave Korea's art store. He did art. He does art. He's an artist. Artiste. My Bay Area haul is right here. Some of the stores you guys know that I frequent there are Gameshop Downstairs, Bronze Age Batcave in Los Gatos, California, Escapist Comics in Berkeley, and a couple other places that I just discovered. First store I went to, Gameshop Downstairs in San Jose, California. You might remember them from the $50 challenge episode that I shot a bunch of months ago. Great store to dig. Their inventory is always changing. They're always getting some new old stuff in, and he's always buying collections and selling. I can't help it, but whenever I find these for $1, I buy them. $20.99 unlimited, the first appearance of Hulk $20.99, and you never know when this character or if this character is going to become relevant. Strange Academy #2, this is the third printing and the second appearance of all these characters, I believe. The second appearance of the Strange Academy. Quite popular Scotty Young vehicle. Spawn #234, this is the crossover with Haunt. Another Todd McFarlane creation along with Robert Kirkman and Ryan Otley. This is Wildstorm Swimsuit Edition #1, signed by Jim Lee, Travis Charest, J. Scott Campbell, and I have yet to figure these couple autographs. I just bought it because I recognize the Lee and Campbell on there. Fantasy Masterpieces #4. It's just a reprint of Silver Surfer #4 with that classic cover. It's one of those books that you pick up when you find it because it's such a badass cover. This is the superhero catalog where you can just order random merchandise from Marvel, and it does have a Joe Kubert cover, late 70s. And you look through it, and it's just all these things you can order from all these different products. It's not just Marvel. It's DC, it's all these little companies that make merchandise like Super School Supplies, Poster Brigade. Check out these posters. I would buy every single one of them if I could, especially that Silver Surfer one. Okay. Can never leave without finding a WCW comic at Gameshop Downstairs, and there you go, WCW issue #11 with Sting on the cover. He's still wrestling. This is from 1992 when he was the, surfer dude, and he's still wrestling with AEW. It's wild. 30 years later and the dude's still wrestling. Silver Surfer #50. So I've had the first print. I've had the third print. I don't believe I've ever had the second print of this book, and I don't think I've ever seen it in person, which is weird. This was on the wall, and I think it was a little underpriced, or maybe it was just priced a while ago at $20. This is Thor #164. I believe this is the final cameo of him, Adam Warlock. Maybe it's a second cameo. There's so many keys with that, but I do love this cover with the floating head. Ego? A pair of ones you don't see every day. Supernaturals, the 4-part miniseries from Brian Pulido when Joe Quesada took over as editor-in-chief, and the Marvel Knights era. The Marvel Knights era is just, I talk about it a lot on this program, and it's the weird time in Marvel. Each one of these comes with like a paper mask, so they are tough to get in high grade because the mask is on a thick cardstock, and it usually splits the cover if it's been bagged and boarded tightly. Let me show you what the mask looks like. You can see the bottom of it. So because these are such thick cardstock, they usually split the cover. So that was the haul from Gameshop Downstairs. What up, Anthony, if you're watching this? And check them out. Fun place to dig. And if you like video games, even more fun. Alameda Sports Cards and Comics. This is a little bit of a secret spot. I will say there is a comic book store that does not clear their new books off that often. So this is Black Panther number 3, the second print, first appearance of Tosin Oduye. Got this for cover price. And this is Marvel Masterpieces number 2, featuring the work of all the different artists that did, I believe it was the 1994 Marvel Masterpieces, featuring a cover by our old pal, William the Sankster Sankiewicz.
Bill Sankiewicz, Sankiewicz. Bill Sankiewicz, Sankiewicz, Wolverine, Snickety Steve, Sankiewicz.
One of my favorite images of Wolverine that he ever did, and that anyone ever did. He looks wild. There was a box of variants that probably hadn't been looked at in 2 years, so I picked up 2 copies. Secret Wars from 2015. This is number 2, the variant, the 1 in 25, first appearance of God Emperor Doom. John Hickman's Secret Wars, which I do love this. I just recently reread it for the first time in, 7 years. If they do adapt this storyline, it's going to be awesome. And it's going to involve so many great characters. So we'll see what happens. Went over to Escapist Comics, picked up a bunch of books, including this House of Mystery, number 211, Bernie Wrightson cover. Just another one to add to the short box of Bernie Wrightson that I have. And picked up a Spawn number 66. A couple of Boys issues, Herogasm, number 1 and number 2. If you're not watching The Boys on Amazon or you've never read it, it's one of the raunchiest comics ever, and the show is no different, and it's fantastic. Boys number 3, which I believe this is the first appearance of the 7. This was a fun one to find for $3.50 in their bins. Usagi Yojimbo number 25, signed by Stan Sakai. There were not too many Invincible books in their bins, but I did pick this up, Invincible number 26. This is a minor key, but this will be a major key once he appears in the show. This is the first appearance of Oliver, and that is Invincible's stepbrother. I just picked this up when I find it because I'm sure Oliver is going to play a big part in the show. He plays a huge part in the book. And lastly, I was looking at their sketchbooks and artist editions, and I scoured the entire shelf to see what I could find because they do have a lot of things that are on the shelf, cover price, that are out of print for a long time. And sure enough, I found this James O'Barr sketchbook. You might know James O'Barr is the creator of The Crow. It is called Uncoffined. Even before I opened it up to look at it, I was like, I'm going to buy this. It's only $25. Not only was it out of print, but it's also signed by James on the front cover. Just a great look at some of his sketches, unpublished stuff at the time. I believe there's even a Batman image in here that I had never seen, Frankenstein and the Creature from the Black Lagoon. I've never seen before, and if I've never seen it, that doesn't mean you've never seen it, but it doesn't really matter if you've seen it because I haven't seen it, and this is just a weird slippery slope. I don't know where I was going with that. Batman. Never saw James O'Barr draw Batman before. I went to Chris's Comics, another place where you just got to dig, and Chris will let you dig, and he'll work with you on the price. I'm working on an original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles run. Turtles number 24, Turtles number 25. These two covers are Rick Veitch covers, and they match. Turtles number 16, and finally, Turtles number 17, wraparound cover by Eric Talbot, who does the art for the story, and as well as a co-writer with Kevin Eastman. Legendary cover. I found this digging through his boxes. This is a Spider-Man print. I believe that came with the first Spider-Man movie box set. Anyway, this is like a little known thing. I don't understand why people overlook this. It's signed by John Romita and John Romita Jr. in pencil on there. It's embossed with a little spider stamp. I've had this before. I've sold it. It's a very cheap way to get signatures from the Romita family. And finally is Akira. And he had a couple issues of Akira in there. Didn't charge me too much on it, although kept saying that this was ink and it's water stained. But Akira number 21 and Akira number 30 and 31. Legendary book by Kazuhiro Otomo, followed by the legendary anime. And Once you get to the 30s of this, you get to super low print run. I'm about halfway done with the run. I am going to need to find an issue number 38. That's a lot harder to find. Here we are at the Bronze Age Batcave, one of my favorite store in the country. And if you are in Southern Bay Area, please come visit because you'll find a book you want. And if you don't, that just means you don't like comics.
There's something here for you.
Yeah, there's something here for everybody. And finally, we come to my favorite store in California, hands down, Bronze Age Batcave. You've heard me talk about it before here on lives. Damon, who owns Bronze Age Batcave, great guy. Last year when me and Dave did our first comic road trip, our first stop was with the Bronze Age Batcave, and I had never been to a store like that in this era. It's just all wall books and bins. They do some new books, but they have a vault where they have all these great graded books.
It's another one that came out. I have the DVD. It was only one season, right?
Yes, yeah.
I have the DVD somewhere.
And this is technically...
The Messi Blum, the guy that does a voice for Wolverine for this cartoon, I met him at a convention.
No way! Whoa.
Yeah.
Cool dude. Dude, he's great.
Yeah, imagine how that being
My mom was religious.
Oh, that's like the anti.
Yeah, she said, what are you
I buy a lot from them on their claim sales too, but if I'm ever looking for a big book, Damon's the person I want to go to. He pointed this out to me. This is an old sci-fi reprint called The Man from Planet X, and he was really excited to show this to me. 1987 reprint of a book that probably does not really exist anymore in too many people's hands. So I picked that up. Me and my buddy Mike went there. Mike was digging the whole time, and I was talking to Damon a lot. But Mike pulled this out for me. This is Iron Man number 103. I believe it's a Whitman reprint. Thunder over Long Island. That's where I grew up. I thought this would be fun to buy. I'm actually going to read it to see if it gives any specific locations of places on Long Island. And I'm bringing Damon here, this giant size X-Men, to fix in the way of pressing and grading. You want to see something funny? This is an old slab. Oh wow, look, it's out of the slab now. So obviously...
The new ones aren't that easy, though.
No, they're not.
No,
but,
you pull out your chisel and be careful.
Yeah, with this, it was just like coming apart. So I was like, this would be fun. Slam!
I think that'll do pretty well.
And thank you to my friend Mike, who filmed a lot of the stuff you're seeing in this episode. He's not a jerk. Frank Turan. You ever see Frank Turan?
No.
And stuff? It's just wild. He only did a couple issues, a couple of different issues of Punisher. And he did mostly the covers, but it's just something I always look for these. But I have these.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, his art. Street pizza. And finally, this is a very rare alternate cover for Star Wars Insider number 186, featuring Mr. Yes, sir. Yusa Jar Jar Binks, the Gungan Master. I'm an idiot, and I love Jar Jar Binks. So that was the haul from the stores. We're going to throw in one last segment, and it's not called Knife Your Friends. It's called Viewer Mailbag. A big thank you to subscriber, friend of the channel, because he sent me this package of stuff, and for some reason I was able to hold my excitement of opening this up until I got in front of the camera. Thank you so much for this. So let's open this up live on YouTube. I'm excited to see what they are. Don't worry, I won't stab myself. Or will I? Let's see what he sent me. Oh, Sankwitz. Comics feature number 51. I don't even think I know this magazine. Featuring the New Mutants. So I can't wait to look through this and see. There's a Judge Dredd article in here. There's some mention of Sankwitz in here. Comics Journal number 91. The special convention issue. Featuring Gil Kane, Howard Chaykin, Harvey Kurtzman, Joe Kubert, and our friend Sankwitz. Look at Young Buck Sankwitz there on the cover. Right there. Oh, yeah. This is the one I knew about. Obviously excited for it. Comics Journal number 107, the Bill Sienkiewicz-Sankwitz interview. Sankwitz. Featuring a dope Elektra cover. Thank you very much for joining. If you're in the Bay Area, don't forget to visit Gameshop Downstairs, Bronze Age Batcave, Escapist Comics, Chris's Comics. Let me know what you thought about that haul. If you're watching this for the first time, please subscribe, Smash that like button, comment below, check out my links below. You'll find it all, and I'll see you next week on the Sankowitz.